reported from the blockhouse at Baikonur. Good control of the vehicle. Good vehicle stabilization reported. The Soyuz delivering 102 tons of thrust from its first stage engine, disappearing into a cloud bank. All vehicle parameters reported performing perfectly. 1 minute 15 seconds into the flight. Everything continues to perform nominally on the first stage performance of the Soyuz booster, with the Progress 65 cargo craft encased in the upper stage of the Soyuz. We're coming up on solid booster separation and first stage shutdown. And we have confirmation of the separation of the first stage of the Soyuz booster right on time. The Soyuz booster and the Progress resupply vehicle, 30 miles in altitude, 73 miles downrange from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, traveling at 4,000 miles an hour. 2 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight. The second stage engine up and running in good shape. All parameters reported to be functioning normally. And we've had shroud jettison, so the Progress now exposed as it continues its trek uphill to its preliminary orbit. We're at the 3-minute mark into the flight. Good vehicle stabilization reported. The Soyuz booster tracking in perfect shape. All control system parameters are normal, reported by the blockhouse in Baikonur. And the second stage engine continues to fire in nominal fashion. Good control of the vehicle with 5 minutes of powered flight remaining. The second stage engine providing 96 tons of thrust as it continues to move right down the pike towards its preliminary orbit and spacecraft separation of the Progress resupply vehicle. Four and a half minutes into the flight. We're coming up on second stage engine shutdown and second stage separation. We've had second stage shutdown and separation, aft skirt separation, and the third stage is up and running. Third stage engine up and running. The third stage providing about 30 tons of thrust to complete the Progress's climb to orbit. Will fire for just under 4 minutes to place the Progress into its preliminary orbit. Coming up on the 5.5 minute mark into the flight, everything proceeding on track. The third stage engine continues to fire as advertised. No issues reported. Launch occurred on time at 8:51 and 52 seconds a.m. Central Time, 8:51 and 52 seconds p.m. at the launch site of the Baikonur Cosmodrome. 6 minutes into the flight, 2 minutes and 46 seconds of powered flight remaining.
Station, this is Rochelle and Carter at KSBJ Radio in Humble, Texas. How do you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We have so many questions for you, Commander Shane Kimbrough.
How is it that his connection is clearer from space than when I'm calling my mom in Oklahoma? That's what I want to know.
I hear that a lot.
Well, I think the main question after Black Friday is done is, can you see the Best Buy to go to for the shortest line from where you are?
We need a flat screen, brother.
Well, unfortunately not. Our cameras are good, but they're not quite that good.
In all seriousness, after Thanksgiving was over, and I know a lot of people, according to the Griswold calendar, have put out the Christmas tree lights. Can you see that from space? Are you seeing more and more lights outline our country?
Well, we can't really tell the difference between a city at night now or in June or in December. So even though a lot of people put more lights out, we can't really see it from up here.
I think it's just fascinating where you are, that we're talking to you in space right now. How did you get started with all this? Because everybody grows up and they say at one time it's either fireman or astronaut. So how do you really get started to do this?
Well, probably the first step is to get a great education. You need to do that in a math, science, engineering, or some kind of technology field. And in my case, I was fortunate enough to go to West Point and study aerospace engineering there. And then I went to Georgia Tech to get my master's a few years after that in engineering as well. So that was a good first step to set you up. You also need work experience. In my case, it was in the military. So they do look for operationally minded folks from the military. Most of the astronauts are not military. They're scientists and doctors and teachers. So they come from a wide variety of backgrounds.
Well, now that we have a rocket scientist at our fingertips and we can literally ask him anything we need to know, is a pre-lit Christmas tree the way to go, or what?
I'm probably going to get in trouble here, but I'm more of a real Christmas tree person, even though my wife just bought a fake one since I'm gone.
I will say, I don't think that's rocket science. I think you can figure out what...
Arguably, it is.
It's much easier, I guess, to do the pre-lit. Oh, my goodness. Well, what is it like to be up there during the season where you want to be with family for Thanksgiving and Christmas? And how long have you been in the space station? It's been a couple hundred days or more? Or?
No, it's been about 6 weeks for myself and my crew. I have 2 Russian crewmates. We've been here about 6 weeks. Another crew just arrived a little over a week ago to join us, so now we're a crew of 6. And it's great to have. It was great to have them on board for Thanksgiving. It just made it more special to have more people around. We tried to make it as much like home as possible with the traditional food with turkey and stuffing and cobbler and those kind of things. But we also share traditions of going around the table